remember when I was a boy, there was few things better than waking up on a Saturday morning with 6-7 inches of snow fresh on the ground. Now I find myself as an adult living in these mountains here. I just love to get in the car and just drive. For me, it's the way the snow just sits on the trees and weighs the limbs down, and back roads where it's barely touched, a few tracks in the snow, and we're heading that way now. And so we're gonna head out to one of my favorite places here. This is in a little area in Morgan County, Tennessee. And this is a place called Frozen Head, Tennessee, Frozen Head State Park, actually, yeah. And I like to go here and hike sometimes and just enjoy the peace and quiet. So I find myself riding this back road here. Well, it's not really a back road. It looks like one. It's just a 2-lane highway, but I believe this is Highway 27 heading through Morgan County. Going past a place I did a video on recently, Petros, old coal mining town originally, and of course nowadays it's famous for the Alcatraz of the South, Brushy Mountain Prison that was located here. It's now a tourist attraction. You can get yourself some moonshine, and my wife and I, we go there quite often, a couple times a year, and catch a concert inside the prison and camp right there at the prison. And if you keep on up this road here on 27, you'll eventually run into Wartburg, Tennessee, which I recently did a video there about the Presbyterian Church that's on the National Historic Register. Ran on past that, just a few miles. It's a video I did recently about a little place called Stupidville, Tennessee. A lot of people ask me where it's at, where it was, and you're looking at the highway here. You just head on up this highway here, another probably 14 miles or so, and you'll be there. But anyways, Morgan County was a remote area for a long time, because as you see as we're going through these mountains here, the only river really in the county, the main river, is a river called the Emery River, and that was pretty much the only way in and out here. First people that got here came up the Mississippi River, then through the Cumberland River, and then the Emery River, and they were isolated here probably almost 100 years before the first railroads came in and the coal mining boom that happened here in these mountains. But after the coal mining boom went bust, this place economically has had a hard time trying to find its own. And there's a lot of ATV trails through these mountains. Of course, you got Windrock Mountain, and you got Nemo up here. Beautiful area. Lots of off-roading opportunities and things like that. And, you know, for me, honestly, I like it just the way it is, because I mean, if you want a Disneyland, you just go head back down this road in the other direction about an hour, and you'll be in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and you can see all the tourists and wall-to-wall people you want to see. But luckily, those folks don't know about places like this. They don't know about these little small, rural, forgotten coal towns. And I think this population of this county, I think it might maybe be 30,000 people. And you can see 150, 250,000 people crammed in the little area of Gatlinburg on any given day. Anyways, we're going to head up here just a bit, and we're going to pull into Frozen Head Park. I'll see you in a second. Always kind of funny to me how they put little facilities about the public schools, and they locate them right here next to a prison. And I know it's all public property, and they just put all the facilities in one place. But kind of ironic to me. But anyways, we're heading up here now. We got a couple of industrial buildings here in Morgan County, and right around this corner is Morgan County Correctional Facility, and this is the prison that they opened up when they built when they closed Brushy Mountain. Now, I don't think I could make it in prison. I'm pretty sure of that. But when you get up here and you take a look at the view that these prisoners look at every day, I'm sure it probably makes them hate the mountains, but it's absolutely beautiful on a sunny day up here, just nestled in this valley in between these mountains. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, they say back when Brushy was open, you know, it's on the other side of these mountains here, literally just on the other side. They say the wildlife would come in and sometimes even jump into the prison yard. And there's stories of the prisoners adopting baby deer and raising them like they were their kids. And all the prisoners loved those deer and all those animals, and they would feed them. And the prison guards knew not to mess with those animals, because if they tried to get rid of one, there'd sure enough be a riot there in the prison. But right here on the right, this is the new Brushy Mountain Prison here. You can see here. Nice camps and things like that. Looks like a paradise compared to Brushy Mountain. There's a couple old houses back through here that I really admire. Every time I come through, I usually stop and take a look at them. And I always dream of owning some property deep in the mountains here with maybe 50 acres or so. Just stay here and far away from everybody. Sometimes I think I was born in the wrong generation. I'd rather be in a place like this compared to any city. And I've been all over America. I've been to New York City several times, and every city on the East Coast, all the way up to Canada, Niagara Falls, and back down through Amish country, and out in Texas, and deep down south, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. But there ain't no place like these Appalachian Mountains that I've ever seen. Not in America. I love the people. I love the beauty. It's just home for me. Now you can see this road starting to get narrow. We don't really have 2 full lanes anymore, so I'm going to slow down and let this fella by. I always like this little place right over here. There's little signs on his shop, and just a beautiful, beautiful little area tucked right here in this little mountain valley. It looks like he's been using all his hay. I came through here a couple months ago. That whole yard was full of hay, and now there's just a few bales left. Look at this. You can get your farm fresh eggs right here. Camp wood. You can buy some baby chickens right there. I had a conversation with a 100-year-old lady about 10 days ago, and she was telling me about what it was like growing up in these mountains back in the 1920s. And her dad had a grocery store, and you know, you think about nowadays, you can just call your order in on the internet and they'll bring the food right out to you, right out to your car. She was, her dad was way ahead of his time. She was telling me that folks would call in, you know, they'd call in through a switchboard operator. Just pick up the phone, tell the operator, connect me to the grocery store. And you tell him what you wanted, and heck, those boys bring it right to your house. And when you ordered chickens, she said they'd go right outside to the chicken pen, right outside the grocery store. They grab a live chicken, just tie his legs together and put him in a bag and bring him right on out to you. Fresh, live chickens. But, as you can see, there's still places back here where you can get that. So we're going to go up here around this corner here, and I'm going to put my drone up and we're going to see what we can see. So you see here, you see that sign there, Frozen Head State Park. I believe this was made a park in the 1950s, and then you can see the road starting to get really slushy now. And usually when I do these things, I like to bring my wife's Jeep. She's got a really nice Jeep. But today I'm in this all-wheel drive Kia. And hopefully we don't get stuck out here. Another little small bridge. Can you imagine living up in these mountains 100 years ago when there was no road here? Everything and everybody you knew about the world was right here. Got a beautiful little stream here. Oops. Anyways, if you like hiking, this is a paradise right here. When I put this drone up, you're going to see there is nothing, absolutely nothing but wilderness here. I have a lot of people ask me from time to time about my drone and if the footage that's in my videos is real, and I'm here to tell you it is. All of it's real. And that's one thing I try to do. I try to make most of the music myself, and all of the aerial footage is 100% real. So it's funny because this thing don't look like a whole lot. There she is right there. This is a Mavic 3. But baby, that thing right there is shooting 7K, and it'll fly 9 miles away from you. We're gonna put it up now. If you'd like to know about Frozen Head State Park, there's a video on my channel I did a couple years ago. Did a whole review of this place, everything there is to do, from camping and hiking and all that. Now, if you want to go hiking, here's the headquarters right here. Now you want to make sure you go in there and check in, because if you get lost in these mountains, somebody's going to need to know where you were going, and how many of you it was, because this ain't no Sunday stroll here. This is deep in the mountains. Get up here, the further we go back in here, the narrow it'll get. It's a little one lane bridge here. Look at that creek. See all these park rangers here. You know, I've even thought many times, talked about it with my wife, if I ever stop teaching, I'd love to be a park ranger at a place like this, taking care of the area, helping people get back to simpler times. These roads are so narrow with all this snow. Back here, everybody waves at each other. That's nice. It's nice, just simple things. Now, you can kind of get a good idea of how that hawk is blowing. I don't know how well it's going to show on this camera, but boy, snow is really blowing across this road. I remember when I was a boy, one of my dad's favorite things to do was ride back roads. Heck, I don't think I bet we never went more than 10 miles an hour, though. We'd just go as slow as if we was riding on a turtle shell. And a lot of times we bring a couple 22 rifles with us, and we might see a creek somewhere and step out and target practice or whatever. Many Saturdays, that's what he'd do. He'd go buy a big old brick of 22 shells from Walmart, and we'd just strike out, no destination in mind. And I remember, boy, I'd get so hungry riding in that car, and eventually we'd run across a little old mom and pop shack store on the side of the road, and get an RC Cola and a moon pie. Look how pretty that is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I might even just pull over here and take a shot of this. Times that's what I do when I'm riding these roads. I'll just see something and just pull over and take a shot of it. And you know, a lot of folks, they just don't take the time anymore. You know, everybody's in such a hurry trying to get somewhere, and as soon as they get there, they're in a hurry to leave to get somewhere else. I don't know, I just prefer things a lot slower. These folks back here, everybody got them a little spot of land. Usually won't be long before you'll run up on a little church or something. Look at this place. Simple living. And there you go. There's your church. So we pulled over here off Highway 27. And I'm going to put the drone up and get a shot of this area over here. Now this little area here, this little town, it's called Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Well, I believe it gets the name Oliver from one of the early postmasters, maybe the first postmaster, but there used to be some medicinal waters that flowed here back in the 1800s, and folks came from as far away as Europe because they believed that the water had healing powers. And a huge hotel stood near those waters. And it was a very famous place. Now it's just a little small town. A lot of folks care about history here, though. I always try to stop in here and stop at some little local business and support them. They brought that highway in there, that overpass. It took out a lot of this community. But this little area here, this was filmed in a movie called October Sky by Disney. And these buildings still have the names of the coal company, the fictional coal company from that movie. So when you see all these names here, they're literally still from that movie. It's really kind of cool. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed checking out some of these back roads of East Tennessee here in Morgan County.
Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel, where I share all sorts of Appalachian history and storytelling. Till next time, my friends.